As funeral professionals, we have all heard of Celebrant services. They're highly personalized, they're beautifully articulated, and they have memorable takeaways. But do they really add something substantial? Are they just more modern or just a new trend in funeral service? In this article by Glenda Stansberry, Not Just a Prettier Cookie Cutter Funeral, she argues that Celebrant services actually initiate and facilitate the grief process. How is it that it's not uncommon for a minister to just meet the family the day of the service, or to forget the deceased name? I think that as funeral professionals, we have a unique opportunity to really help in the grief process and help these families in a way that helps them beyond filing death certificates and taking care of the details, which are also very important. So in the short time that I have, I would like to present this paper through the lens of William Worden's 4 tasks of mourning, which he believes must be accomplished for healing to take place. The first one is that the bereaved must accept the reality of the loss. The first step in a celebrant service is to have a family meeting, where the celebrant meets with the family for a period of a couple hours and just listens to them as they tell them stories and share memories and honor the deceased. This provides a bonding experience where the family can really bond over a loss and acknowledge that it happened and remember things they may not have remembered otherwise. My friend Kelly Berry, who works here at Berry Funeral Home, is a certified celebrant and was trained by Glenda Stansberry, and she was telling me of a woman who had to make the hard decision to take her husband off life support. She invited Kelly over to her house and had her sit in his chair and look at all of his things, and for everything from empty beer bottles to his fishing boat. And this was just her way of honoring the deceased and of letting go. So this family meeting really helps them acknowledge this loss, and it validates their feelings. The second task is to experience the pain of grief and to express the emotions associated with it. And the celebrant service itself really does this. Glenda Stansberry in this article talks about how she was a celebrant for a service of a young man who committed suicide. Suicide deaths are really difficult to deal with and often go untalked about because of the emotions of shame and guilt and just the taboo that it is. But in her service, she really spoke openly about it. They shared their feelings and laughed and cried together, looked at pictures, wrote letters, and lit candles and everything else. A man came up to her at the end of the service and said, "You saved my son's life." And this was a man his son had been the deceased's best friend and was on the verge of committing suicide himself. And the celebrant service just really helped him express his emotions and grieve in a way that was healing to him. So these services help express emotions, give solidarity, and support and validate their feelings. The third and fourth go together, adjusting to the environment in which the deceased is missing and withdrawing emotional energy and reinvesting it into another. Another characteristic of celebrant services is it gives homework to those who participate. It gives those who come something to do for the family, something substantial where they don't feel powerless and the family doesn't feel lonely. These homeworks can be something like calling on holidays or writing letters every so often with memories of the deceased. This gives people concrete tasks to support and help the family and creates a support network. It empowers and enlightens them and helps them to reinvest in each other. It helps them to form new relationships and different ones too. So in conclusion, I don't think celebrant services are cookie cutter services. And I hesitate to use the word cookie cutter because a traditional funeral service is what holds value and meaning for some people because that's what they know. But I do think each person is unique and deserves to be memorialized and celebrated in a unique way. And more importantly, each person grieves different. And our services should be tailored to help those grieve. In the words of Glenda Stansberry, we must open the door to grieving the loss in a meaningful, special, and healthy way. Certified celebrants or not, I think that we should be in the business of mourning and celebrating lives, not making cookies.